time no see, ladies and gentlemen. I have finally come back after a very long break. Now, this break has been dedicated to this episode. This episode, part 5 of What If Deku Was a Machine, is going to conclude, as the screen says, the chapter. Each What Ifs will have chapters. These chapters decide and split the story into groups. Whatever happens in a chapter will decide what happens in the next. Also, I would like to give a shout out to those in the comment section for the amazing what if ideas. I am thinking of watching Demon Slayer and several other anime, just so I can bring more to you guys. After this series finale, this chapter finale, I should say, there will be no more videos on this what if series until later on, because the next will be going into Season 3 and Season 4. If you have not watched those two seasons and caught up, I highly suggest you do, because there will be a large amount of contradiction in the later stories. And a lot of you guys didn't like Night Eye's death, right? When that happened? I should have put a spoiler warning. Well, whatever, I'm sorry. But, yeah, that happens. I am truly, truly sorry if you haven't gotten to that part, but heartbreaking news. But yeah, so this what if part is What If Deku Was a Machine Part 5, the chapter finale. This will truly turn Izuku into the MC, the protagonist, because the end of this, I know it may be early, but all for one. He is going to make his appearance, and Izuku is going to show him what happens when you mess with his family. After the following events of the previous months, Izuku Midoriya has been getting further upgrades, improvements in social activity, improvements in just overall who he is as a person. However, he's still a machine. No matter what happens, he'll still be a machine. But he's learned to accept that. And sometimes he's gone to the public to say hello, to show them that even if the machine were to become a hero, he will still protect them with his very life, no matter what challenges he faces. However, he has rarely shown himself due to not having a hero license, as because he is a student at a hero school, he is unable to do proper hero work until the day he gains his license. And no, I am not bringing the second movie into this, because I have not watched it, nor have I seen it. I've seen just enough of Two Heroes to bring that into What Ifs, but nothing of the second movie. So, Izuku Midoriya, what people call the machine hero. Someone they all love, charismatic, adorable, fun to play around with. He is what people see as an ideal hero. But Izuku always denies them with saying that he's a good hero. He's just a robot, but he's just doing what he's been programmed to do. He may have the ability to learn, but he's still not distinguishable from a machine. He can still change. He still has some vulnerabilities, a lot of vulnerabilities even, and that will never change. He has limits, just like every other human being, though. He can only process so much data. He can only do so much to stop something or to save someone. He can only do so much to comfort someone or to reassure them or something along humanoid lines. He can only do so much. Unlike humans, they have the ability to ever evolve. They don't need to be upgraded manually. They upgrade themselves. They evolve, become better, stronger. That is who they are. Humanity is just a cycle of evolution, countless evolution even. And that that is what he states to them. And his popularity rises even more, and he begins showing up on the media. His quotes begin being written down in stories. His ideals begin getting recognized, and some people even begin writing stories about their own versions of who Izuku is, and in a way making him even into an anime. Funny, right? An anime and an anime. At the exception, I am the true otaku. Probably not. I'll probably get absolutely flagged for that, not in a copyright sense, but yeah, I'll get a lot of heat on me for that. I know there are so many other YouTubers out there. Braces to them, though. Braces to them. But yeah, so from this moment on, Izuku just stopped going outside. And the reason is he had to think a bit more. He had to think about the things that happened. The camp, the USJ, meeting All Might, finding out who he is, meeting Uraraka and the rest of Class 1A, meeting Mei Hatsume, meeting all the pro heroes, meeting Aizawa-sensei, who was quite literally, in a way, just a knockoff of Kakashi. Love Kakashi. I'm still going to do that with Deku What If. Don't heat me on that. I will do it. I am doing an episode 1 redo. That will happen. It is going to be funny. Trust me. But yes, for over time though, Izuku's programming has been slowly growing. It's ever so slowly beginning to depend more on the OS. More like the OS is beginning to be Izuku, though the OS is learning as well. It's more humanoid and not as mechanical, but it still keeps in mind of Izuku's body. His functions, his actions, his memory, all of that still accounted for in a CPU in this head. That's all. It is still that and always will be. A supercomputer. A learning computer. That's it. You may call him a learning computer or a supercomputer. It honestly doesn't matter. However, on top of all the changes that is going on within him, it's sort of like he's going through puberty. As sometimes he may be happy, sometimes he may be upset. Sometimes he'll be thoughtful, sometimes he'll be calculative. Sometimes he'll be analytic, sometimes he'll be lazy. Sometimes he'll just be straight up fucking funny or weird. For example, Zane from Ninjago, please don't flag me. But, that was funny. If you don't know what happened in Ninjago, then yeah, I'll probably get called a child for that, even though I am a child. But yeah, so because of all these changes, along with staying inside, Izuku's father was worried. But he knew that changes would happen. He built Izuku to change, to evolve like a human being, to become more human. He wanted Izuku to ask himself the question, who am I? What am I as a person? What do I mean to other people? Perhaps I would be a friend, family, a tutor, a best friend, a love interest. Who am I? What am I? Or am I merely just a machine to everybody around me? If so, that's fine. That doesn't matter. For Izuku is Izuku, and everyone else is who they are as a person. They cannot change him, nor can they shape him. He must shape himself. Because if he doesn't, who knows what he'll become. Izuku as well, along with Mei, have been going through his programming like his father did, and been keeping track of his ability to think, process and just overall be able to handle his equipment. And over time, he's got things like more powerful thrusters and perhaps even more powerful just reaction speed, as his reaction speed has been heightened or increasing over the period of time, able to get slightly close enough to All Might's fastest fuckboy speed, which is pretty fucking fast because he's been said to either go at half a Mach 1 at the speed of sound, like half, which is like, yeah, half the speed of sound, or Mach 29, 29 times the speed of sound. And that is either a crack in my roof or just some weird ass squash spider with a fucking web attached to it. I have no clue and I don't care. As long as I don't get fucking touched in my sleep by a spider, I'm good. Anyway, I'll probably get annoyed by the fucking people again. Yeah, as long as you guys enjoy this. And I'm open to more and more suggestions, by the way. I've also been watching an anime called Guyver. I might do a what if on that. In all its glory, I will not nerf it. For those who may think the Guyver is overpowered, fuck off! I'm kidding. So Izuku now, having gone with Ida to what is going to be his... Look, I'm sorry, it's like the stay up and all that. Like, internships. So, he went with Ida to see how his internships were like. And to see how Ida goes around in life, I guess. To learn more about him. Because he likes Ida, he really does. Ida's a good friend of his and he wants to learn more about her. To learn what makes Ida tick to a point to where he could work together with him really, really well. Become better friends with him. Izuku's sort of like Underswap Sounds. Absolutely fucking adorable and wants to be friends with everyone, but also get things done. Quite literally what he's like. If you guys can hear that, I'm holding a bracelet, I'm sorry. But with all this happening, and Izuku studying the city, it seems sort of off. People are going around, yeah, but something feels eerie to him. His radar isn't going off, but he could sort of tell that something isn't quite all good with the city, that something is being plotted, that something dark is rotting in the darkness. And he wants to know what it is, but he can't because there's no way to tell. There is no way to tell if there's something wrong or it's just him. Just him acting up because of his maturation. Because of how much he's maturing in such little time. So he discards it for now. And so he discarded it for that. And went along with Ida. And Ida asked Izuku if he was all good. And Izuku responded with, yeah, no worries, I'm fine. Sorry, Ida. just thinking about things. He's like, alright, just be careful. And if you want to talk about something, just say. He's like, thank you, Ida. Thank you. But once they get to the internship, and the city gets attacked, Izuku goes to look for Ida to make sure he's alright in case he was in trouble. But he couldn't find him anywhere. Nowhere at all. But he did. He did find a scrape on the ground from Ida running, and he scanned it. Ida, where are you? Where are you? He thought to himself. And eventually he located him. And he was a bit weirded out. An alley? What's going on? And he saw that Ida went from moving to a halt. Like he had been stopped by something, not himself. Because usually Ida winds down a little bit before he goes to a halt. Whereas he just halted. He just stopped then and there. So Izuku ran as fast as he could. And eventually came across Stain. And when he saw Stain, he was running through his village. Oh, that's what happened. Hang on 1 second. I am awfully sorry about this pause. Okay, I have returned, and I figured out why everything was a bit muffled. I was laying on my bed at the time, and I pulled out my mic cord. So if you could kindly just, discard that as an effect, that would be pretty nice. And also, the effects of me moving around, just count that as Izuku, or Ida moving, as you will. Yeah, he ran through his database and couldn't find anything. Nothing. But someone called the Hero Killer. And he went to go check Ida and asked him if he was alright, but Stain went to go hit him, thinking it was just armor. Whereas the sword, when it hit him, it cracked and bounced off. Stain had made sure that his weapons were ready, sharp, durable, able to even put a dent in steel. However, Izuku didn't care about that. He wasn't made of steel. What would he be if he was made of steel? Stain would just chop right through him like a hot knife through butter. Or as the meme goes, a 2000-degree knife cutting through dairy/cheese. Or any sort of dairy product. At that. And with this, Izuku looked up at him and grabbed his wrist. And grabbed his wrist quickly. "You're the Hero Killer, aren't you?" he said, enraged at the fact that he had harmed Ida. He's like, "That's not a suit, is it?" Stain thought. Something wasn't right with this boy. Something wasn't all together with this one. His armor was unrealistic. Even for a quirk standard, it was pretty weird. The fact that his blade didn't dent it, even in the slightest. Something really wasn't wrong. And as Izuku pulled something from his arm back, a blade shot out of his arm. He grabbed it and cut in half Stain's blade, missing him by a hair. And he said, "I can't attack you because I don't have my hero license. But if this is how it's gonna go, I am afraid we will have to deal with you," he said as his OS took over. And Stain was slightly impressed by the sudden change in this boy's personality. "It seems as though we have the Hero Killer on our hands. Am I right?" The Hero Killer, Stain, merely uses weapons as his quirk, does not help him in any physical or mental way. However, helps him out if he is able to lick human blood, though some blood types have weakness. Some blood types are able to recover quicker from the hypnosis, or should I say the paralyzation, from your quirk description. And because of that, there is no need. After all, I guess you could say you sort of resemble the communists. We can become better. We don't need heroes. Bad heroes. We don't need quirks. We can be human. Those are some of your ideals. Or let us just say, anti-communism. I am afraid America does not deal with such issues. In this case, however, Japan, a place of which everyone is free and heroes roam the streets. That is all. And it is our job as heroes to annihilate each and every one.
For we liberate the world and make sure all are safe. That is a description of hero in this world. However, it is such a pity at the fact that the description is so stereotypical. You will be executed with the best in mind. Negative, you will be detained for the safety of Tenya Ida and Ingenium.
And as Izuku said that, he went back to normal. Good night, Stain. And a blaster appeared from his hand as he fired, and Stain managed to deflect a few blasts with one of his knives, with one of his daggers before it melted. And he stood there, and he backed up, and he bounced back a little bit. That's hard. He could melt steel easily. Just 2 shots. Looks like this will be interesting. And he went to go at Izuku again, who just blocked the blade with his arm. You really need to think back your strategies. It's honestly pretty sad. Well, sorry, but I'm gonna have to say good night. And he put his hand against his chest, and awfully quickly an eruption of vibration came out, and with such a melody, knocked Stain clean out. However, Stain itched a knife into Izuku's, and into a little crevice in Izuku's shoulder. And when he went to go move his arm, the crevice popped open and scratched against his exoskeleton, causing several pieces of plating to fall off. And Izuku, shocked, picked them up, and quickly picked Ida and the nature hero up at the same time. However, he couldn't put the plates back on. Not here. He didn't have the technology to. And he can't self-repair like that. Well, not from what he knows, that is. And so, he went forward. Over and over. But then, he stopped. As Stain did something he didn't think he could do. Use oil to stop a mechanical machine. And doing this sent a rage throughout his body. It was terrifying, and it hurt. It burned. Though he kept strong, and despite that, began to walk towards Ida and Izuku. And Izuku began to force himself around, his waist whirring. And when he turned to face him, and said, "You're overusing your quirk. If you overuse it now, you'll suffer from paralyzation." And Stan just says, "Thank you for your concern, but..." Then he raises his blade, but then a strike of flame erupts from the side, and the devil looks to him. And he scoffs. And Todoroki came as well. This time, Izuku didn't send a distress call. So Todoroki just heard the mayhem from a few blocks back, and decided to come and assist. Because he knew that the villain wouldn't live to see the light of day if Izuku went all out on him. And he didn't want Izuku to go through some troubles. Therefore, he acted and came with Endeavor, his father, of all people. The only person he wished he didn't have to come see. But hey, he did it anyway. Alright guys, I will leave this as a part 1 of part 5. Or a half of part 5. And you guys will probably be really pissed at this, but hey, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this, as the second part will be coming soon. Most likely on Friday, for me, which is tomorrow, at night. Or, it will be coming during the weekend, on one of the days. and we will finish it off quickly and with a damn big surprise. And when that surprise does come, I think you'll like it. Because this is what took me so long to make. I wanted to make it really good, pristine, just for you guys. Just to make sure you had something really enjoyable to listen to, or to watch. And if you guys want to, you can use this story for an animation. But please, do give credit to me. Anyway, goodbye, have a good night or day, and see you later.